the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Oh, surviving together, victorious. Never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey everyone, how are you doing on this sunny Saturday afternoon? At least it is here. It is semi-warm here. Welcome to Surviving Together, safe space for sexual assault and other trauma survivors to get a chance to connect with each other and share on their healing journey with each other. Please, you never ever have to share your story. Everything is individual. Thank you, Shannon, for throwing that up. We are Mod Central today. Oh my gosh, we're like all here. You guys are going like, everyone's a mod. Really, it's born out of necessity because not everyone can be at, different shows. So we have had made different people mods at different times. So it's wonderful to see you guys all here. I'm just absolutely thrilled. We are going to be talking about gratitude today. And I know it's something that is talked about in a mental health community a lot. So we're going to try and take a little bit of a twist on it, take it out of what we normally think about in gratitude, and talk about, can we find gratitude in our trauma? First off, I'm just going to say hi to everybody who is here and kind of get a sense, let everyone trickle in. I know people kind of come in during the first 5 minutes of the show or so. And we have Crystal Phoenix Rising. Thank you so much for being here, dear. Very much appreciate it. Carmel, thank you for stopping in. I saw a really interesting video I need to share with you, actually, about your home country. And Indigo Twin, I just saw your comment. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found us and are stopping in. Cosmic, how you doing? How is everything for you? I know it must be evening over there now. What, 5 o'clock? What time is it for you, Christy? Is it 5 in the evening? Something like that? Hi, James. How are you? James is doing a show on the 80s today, which, oh my gosh, excited to see that. I might have to hit it on replay because he's coming on after us. And I don't know how long we'll be going on today. We actually might have a shorter show than usual just because I have got things that I am doing around the house and I've actually motivated. So I'm going to try and keep that motivation going. I know a lot of you guys know about that and how when our motivation just goes, but when it's on the way up and we're doing stuff, we just want to take advantage of it, right? So I cleaned my kitchen today. I cleaned my kitchen today. I washed the floor. I cleaned the stove. Very proud of myself with that. So thank you very much. Crystal M, glad you are here. How are things going for you, girl? Brian, oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to see you. Jajagor, how are things going? I hear you might actually have found a house. That is fabulous. I know that is going to be a weight off your shoulders once you finally decide at least, where you're going. Then you've got the packing and everything. But I think you're an old pro at that by now. So hopefully that won't be too big of a deal. Shannon, glad you're back with us. Glad you are safe and sound from traveling. Always worry about you when you're out and about. Let's see here. So, should be on Sunday already? Yeah, did you put it down? I don't think so. I missed what time it is for you, Cosmic. Who did I miss? Maureen, how are you? Primo, glad you are here. Body Illusion, hey, how you doing today? I was glad to see your smiling face on this morning. I love the 80s too, Shannon. This hair. Okay. And I know Body Illusion has noticed that the thickness of my hair. And watch this. James, this is for you. No hairspray, guys. No hairspray. Okay. We're getting some height here. We're getting some height. Can't do it as well just with the other hand. But this is ratting just with this. Now look at that. Now you can imagine if I did the rest of it, how well my 80s hair can go. So yeah, I rock 80s hairstyle. If that comes back, I'm in. It'll. Oh my goodness. Oh, you do think you found a house, DeAudrey? That's great. Oh, yeah. Exciting to get to your new place. Sunday. Oh, my Lord. Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Okay. Well, welcome to the future. Yeah, Crystal, that's got to be hard. Never easy parting with a pet, but I'm glad you found someone who you feel comfortable, who you feel is going to be a good fit, and it's going to take good care of Leo while you are getting settled in your new place. Indigo says, yes, I started cleaning my room. You get cleaning. Yeah. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, I need to keep going. I've got stuff to do, and it's like my office. You can see I still haven't gotten my stuff hung back here, and everything's in this chair, and I got stuff in the closet that needs to get done. And I really want to try and get some of that out so that I can get things set up in here the way that I want them. Hey, ALV, how are you? Glad you're awake. I laugh with him all the time because I end up falling asleep on his show. But if you guys did not see ALV's show, if you like ghost stories, definitely check him out. If you guys can throw up Wine Guild, he's 8 o'clock on Friday nights and does ghost stories and some paranormal stuff. Just real interesting. He's one of these people who does not force something on you and go, this is, oh my gosh, and this is the paranormal, and can you believe it or whatever. It really takes a logical view of, could it be, could it not be? I don't know. Takes a historical kind of context with these ghost stories. So if nothing else, if you don't believe in the ghost part of the story, it's a historical, it's a little history lesson in people's towns. And he was doing Wisconsin last night, which is very interesting. Well, if you guys hear that, it is my son yelling, and he is trying to fix his car today. So we're hoping that he can make that happen. Today is the day to do it. It is 34, something like that. With the sun shining, it actually feels fairly decent for winter. I know all you guys on the East Coast are prepping for the Arctic air that we have coming. So tomorrow it's going to be in the teens, like low teens, and then single digits next week. So it's got to get done today or it's going to have to wait. So we'll see. There we go. Shannon threw up, that's ALV's channel, and you can go check that out. Absolutely. Indigo. It's really, really interesting. He'll do some ghost stories and then do up some pictures and say, hey, do you think this is paranormal? Do you think it's a glitch? Do you think somebody was just, doing a scam? What kind of things are, what's going on? So it's been really interesting. Obviously, the historical legends are what's really the draw for you. And I love history. Archaeology is like one of my favorite things in the world. And so second to that is history and learning about things. And I love true crime, but I tell you, watching true crime videos, especially as a survivor, sometimes it can get to be a bit too much. And I don't have, Well, I Never is the channel. It's called Well, I Never, and does a lot of historical. So like 1800s, turn of the century, 1900s, turn of that century, crimes and things that happened. And it's really interesting. So again, historical bent to it versus, our modern day serial killers or something like that. You get the poisoners from way back. Shannon said she heard snow flurries in Daytona Beach. Oh my gosh. Somebody else was telling me that Boston was supposed to get like 8 inches of snow or something like that. So I have not heard about any additional snow for us, thankfully. Only the cold air. So I don't know if we're going to get any additional. We'll have to see. Primo, you're still moving boxes? Yeah, you figure if you moved them 10 years ago and you haven't opened them, that you probably don't need the stuff. Either that or the memories, and just keep them in storage. That's kind of what happens with me. Crystal, Janet told me that it was like negative 22 Celsius this morning when I was speaking to her. You guys are just in Canada. They're up there. So, really, really, really cold. I cannot even imagine what you guys are going to have Tuesday or Wednesday. That'll be interesting. I'll see you on Wednesday, Crystal, and we'll see what your temperatures are. We'll be cold, but you'll be even more so. Shannon says I have boxes I haven't gotten to because I don't have the storage space. And see, that is a big thing with here. I love my condo, but storage space, it is definitely lacking. The individual rooms, the bedrooms are fairly large, and they did put walk-in closets, which is helpful, but there's only so much you can do with, stacking boxes on top of each other. And beyond that, there's zero room in the laundry room, which the rest of the basement is living area. And I have a small place under the stairs, which we've been trying to have stuff. And yeah, don't have a lot of it. Irish houses lacking storage space. Yeah, that's the big one. And my son has the basement, and because it's considered a third bedroom because it's a walkout. So there is egress there. So they can consider it a third bedroom, but it doesn't have a closet space or anything. So you have to have dressers or actual hanging things, to put so it's Janet's warmer than where you are. Really? Are you farther north, Crystal, than she is? Shannon says she has layovers in Grand Rapids next month. I'll be around. I'll make myself around. Absolutely. You just let me know what date you're going to be here, Shannon, and I will mark it on my calendar. And I mean, unless I'm in court, I'm there. I'm absolutely there. So 100%. Shannon says, I wish I knew how to organize. That's something that kind of learning, teaching my son how to do, and getting a handle on his ADHD and being able to wrap your head around. And it definitely can be overwhelming. So it's, how can we organize utilizing our space, removing a dresser from here to there? How can we still utilize it, but have it not be where it needs to be? Does that make any sense? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Indigo does organization. I forgot about that. Reclaim your realm. I like that name, Indigo. I like that. That is absolutely fabulous. So on point, because this is exactly what I told my son today. I'm like, all right, we have about 4 projects that are half done. He's getting his area organized, getting stuff out of there that he doesn't want. And so now it becomes to the main floor. So now I have to deal with it on the main floor. And I said, I've been struggling lately anyway. I don't know if it's come across it with the lives at all, but I definitely am feeling the hormone fluctuations from being perimenopause and not really sure what to do. Taking some natural supplements to try and help with mood and emotion regulation and things like that. But I'm definitely still struggling and still feeling the effects of it. Have a doctor's appointment on Monday, or an intake with one of the nurses for a specialist who specializes in women's health issues, specializes in menopause, which there aren't a lot of doctors who are actually certified in dealing with menopause and menopause issues. So I'm very, very fortunate that there's actually a clinic here in town that we can do that. Perimenopause does suck, yes. And some of the issues that I have, I've shared with you guys the struggle that I've had because of some breast pain. There's no cancer, not that we can find. So now it's a matter of figuring out, okay, well, why am I still having it and how do I deal with it? And my doctor looked at all my levels. I had my estrogen level done and it is low. I mean, it's low. This is the normal range. It's like right here, it's not into the abnormal. So my doctor's like, everything's fine. My doctor retired. So this is kind of who I got handed off to, and she doesn't specialize in it, So it's like, well, take some primrose extract, for the pain. Okay. But this is not really solving my larger issue. So bit the bullet, getting into the specialist and seeing about potentially hormone replacement, Shannon. I'm really going to lay it all out. The clinic is wonderful. And they have this questionnaire, which is not just a yes, no type of questionnaire. There really is. It's huge boxes for you just to fill in, and what's going on, and what do you hope to get out of it? What can we help with? And all of that information, the nurse is going to take in, and then that'll get sent over to the doctor. And these meetings are much, much longer. The visits are much longer, not the 15-minute in and out type of thing. So really hoping that it can, we'll be able to figure something out. I know we will be. I haven't really I'm getting the night sweats. I'm starting to get night sweats a little bit. And so temperature regulation at night is getting a little difficult. I have gotten hot flashes in the past, but they've been years ago. And every now and then I think I feel it. I get warm. It's harder to cool down, like take a blanket off, and then it's like, I've got to cool, even in the daytime, since it's cold here, like I've got a blanket on my lap right now, and I might get hot. And then it's like, okay, we got to cool down for a little bit. So we'll see. Crystal, that's what this specialist is that I'm going to on Monday. Will the intake with the doctor. Diana Bittner is a menopause specialist, health women's specialist, and her clinic is all the doctor. I think there's 2 or 3 doctors there that they've got. They're all specialists, and they also specialize in weight loss and sexual issues. And I mean, pretty much anything that we as women deal with, they've got their focus, and they really are dialed into that at any point in your life, but particularly with people who are, perimenopause, menopause. And the one thing about people don't realize, perimenopause can start really early in your life. It can start in your 30s. And I know for our men out there are probably going, okay, thanks for all this talk, but seriously, it's an issue. And a lot of I call regular female doctors, people who don't specialize in this, who aren't gynecologists, they just don't know, they go by what their little charts tell them. And if the chart says it's okay, then, they don't worry about it. I actually had asked for my estrogen levels to get checked. So I don't know if we'll have some more testing along those lines or not. We'll see. Have you started perimenopause, Indigo? That's kind of a personal question is showing up, but you're saying you're 34. Wish it was talked about more openly in society. Yet people do not understand in general. Doctors in general do not understand menopause. Perimenopause, they just kind of go, well, things are, you could start, but there's no help for things that are going on. And the list of areas of your life that the hormones, as they start going out of whack, can affect, it's incredible. And people may feel, depression and anxiety and all of these kind of things. And basically then they'll get put on depression meds or they'll get put on anxiety meds. And that's not the root cause, And so knowing that there's something else behind that actually might be able to get a handle on, so we don't have to be on all these other medications. Wow, and we'll see what I come up with. May even do a whole thing on it. We'll see. Hey Jana, how you doing? No worries. I've just been blathering on about perimenopause. Oh, Crystal or Shannon threw it up earlier. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button, if you want to just click out of your chat real quick and hit that like button for me, I'd really appreciate it. If you can comment after the show, that is what is really starting to push some of these shows out to people who might not otherwise see them. And, well, don't comment now, silly. Drive. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't. What else did I want to talk about? Crystal Phoenix, can you throw up the donation banner for me? I'd appreciate that. This is one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is donations. How do you feel about it? Is me just mentioning it and throwing up this line, okay? Do you feel like it's bothersome? How do you feel about it when people ask for donations? Is it, I don't want it to come across as begging or sad fishing or any of these other words that you might utilize for it. But it's the only way that we content creators have to raise money to be able to support these channels, because we pay for our equipment and our time and the StreamYard and everything else. These are just expenses that we have, and I gladly take it on because this channel is my soul. Helping survivors is my life purpose. I truly 100% feel that in my heart of hearts. And I will continue this as much as I can. So, okay, everyone's saying they're okay with it. Grifting and sad fishing, completely different. Yeah. And you just, you never want to, as a creator, come across that way. But we certainly, certainly need the help. And I still have this goal at 500. YouTube allows super stickers at 500. The super stickers, YouTube does take a 30% chunk last I knew. Maybe it's more now, I'm not sure, but the 500 is still a goal. It's a goal for me just because that's the next goal. I think we're at 345 last I looked. So looking at 350, we're staring that down. I'm so excited. Yep, I've got the PayPal, and the whatever's scrolling across the screen right now is in the description, along with my email. You always find my email in every description as well. If you guys ever need to get in contact with me, definitely you can contact me directly that way, and be happy to talk to you about whatever you need to talk about. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Not at this moment. I think I mentioned last time about the clothesline project. It was something Crystal Phoenix and I are going to get. We're going to coordinate with that. And I'm looking to have a kickoff on February 1st, I think, and have a couple months worth of giving guys a couple months to get pictures of videos, submissions put in, and putting it out by April 15th is kind of the goal of that. So that's coming down the line, and we're going to talk about that. The clothesline project. So if you just type in Google clothesline project Indigo, and you will see, and it basically is putting something on a t-shirt, either as a supporter of a survivor or as a survivor themselves. They have expanded it to where they've got different color shirts or for different types of survivors, but you don't have to. And there we go. Thank you, Crystal Phoenix. So as you can see up here, they've got different colors of t-shirts. People have put different things up, and they do it. It started with doing it within the community itself, to where they would hang them. They would do them and they would hang them. And they could be seen by everybody. We want to do a virtual one because we're all over the place, right? So here you see white, someone who died because of violence; yellow, survivor of physical assault, domestic violence; red, pink, orange, survivor of sexual assault, child sexual abuse; green, survivor of incest, child sexual abuse. But it doesn't have to be that color. And it doesn't have to be a brand new t-shirt. This is not something I want people to be going out and spending a lot of money on. I want to do a live, probably 1 or 2 Sundays or something. We'll get on here and do t-shirts together. It'd be crafty time. Take an old t-shirt that you have, turn it inside out, and do your stuff on that. Take a picture of it and send it in. That is about as, sorry, I'm just checking just need to make sure that I might have somebody contacting me that I need to respond to. So that's why I'm checking my phone. Apologize for that.
Real quick, I just wanted to jump in and comment on this real quick. It actually wasn't my nephew. It was Tip 420. It was one of our friends' nephew, but it's just such an amazing program that I just really got behind it really hardcore. And I'm actually planning on doing a live about exactly this program probably after we finish here. It's just going to be a short one explaining kind of my vision was. Sorry to jump in real quick. You were saying you were checking your phone anyway. So
exactly. No, but if you have the address that people can send to, we can,
yeah, I can put that in the chat if you want, or I can just link to the post where I have all of that info.
That would be great.
Mhm.
That would be
Yeah.
great. They're looking for what, Valentine's
Mhm.
cards or
Yeah.
postcards, and they're
Just
going to put
postcards
it
from, and it's not just from around the country, it's from all over the world.
anywhere
You
that you
know,
are. They're going to
yeah.
put a little sticker or
Mhm.
pin on the map and
Mhm.
see how many places they can get. And it would just be
Yeah, and
wonderful.
it's a great project. Some of my friends are having their kids actually do them, and I think it's a great way to actually even start up that old pen pal program that we did when we were kids. I really think this is a way that we can heal the world in a sense with communication, opening up communication worldwide, with the future generation, you know. Um, So, well, I kind of just did my live right there. That was my whole thing. Wanting that's my vision. I'm hoping that we can just get more schools to do this and more programs. Like I plan on doing the same thing, but instead of for Valentine's Day, Easter for my girls,
There you
and
go.
things like that. So, um, but it's a great program.
Yep. And it's as
So,
simple
mhm.
as just
It's the Valentine one, Shannon, is what we were talking about real quick.
yeah, right
Mhm.
now we're just talking about the Valentine one.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Crystal Phoenix and I will be getting
Mhm.
together tomorrow to kind of iron out some thoughts that we
Mhm.
have with the clothesline project. And then
Mhm.
I plan on
Yeah.
announcing that we'll probably get on at the beginning of last Saturday, February 1st. So that gives people
Mhm.
2 months. I say
Absolutely.
April 1st
Mhm.
will be kind of the cutoff date for submissions for that.
Mhm.
And we'll figure out how we're
Mhm.
going to put everything together. So whether you do a picture or video or whatnot, and we'll do a
Yeah.
virtual clothesline.
Mhm.
And as many people as we can get, even if they're not members of our SAS community
Mhm.
here, if anybody wants to do the t-shirts, you
Yeah.
want to do them with your kids.
Mhm.
um, there are ones I've seen
Mhm.
that say, just
Mhm.
so sorry that you went through this type of thing, so
Mhm.
supporters, people
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
are with us. So that'll be
Mhm.
the clothesline
Mhm.
project, so two separate things.
Yeah.
So immediately right now, yeah, we've got the Valentine
Mhm.
postcard
Mhm.
thing going on,
Yeah.
and Crystal will
Mhm.
put up a link to that and
Yeah.
grab you
I
the
will do that in a
teachers.
moment.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so then you can click on that
Mhm.
and it'll take you right to where you'll see a postcard with the
Yeah.
school's address
Mhm.
there
Mhm. Absolutely.
and get that
Um,
going.
well, we were talking about gratitude, and I really need to go to the bathroom. So you were gonna mention that whole gratitude thing, and then with my dog.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. All right. You want to throw that
Mhm.
up first?
Yeah, real quick, just real quick.
Okay.
'Cause I really got to use the ladies' room.
Okay. So
Mhm.
yes, one of the things is gratitude. We're
Mhm.
talking about gratitude, being grateful for things and, just every little things in
Mhm.
everyday life. And this is one thing that happened with Crystal this morning.
I had posted about it yesterday about how my baby had just greeted me with these big old grins, and I was able to catch a picture of her doing it this morning,
Look
and
at that.
I mean, look at that
Look at
big old
that face.
smile. I mean, she's just
If you didn't
too
know, you
cute.
would think
Mhm,
you would think she was gurring at you, but she's not. It's just
mhm.
just happy,
Yeah,
happy, happy dog.
you can see like the playful stance in it and everything, and
Yeah.
it just made me stop and think for a moment and just how grateful I am. She just was like so happy and just play with me, mommy, good morning, and it just made me stop and think about all the little beautiful things in my life that I have to be grateful for
Yeah.
instead of thinking of all the crap that I don't have.
Yep.
And hi, Tommy. I've been enjoying your lives lately. I had gotten, I guess, brought to him, but through you, and
Yeah.
somebody gifted me a membership this morning, which I appreciated it. So I just had to
Awesome.
say that. Now I'm going to run backstage again and run to the ladies.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Hey Tommy, how you doing? Yeah, we love our fur babies, don't we? Absolutely, you could put surviving together on them. Whatever you want. These are going to be your t-shirts and they're going to be your messages. And you can make as many of them as you want and send the pictures in. And we're going to put it all together into one big virtual clothesline so that that project will be out there. We're really excited about it. Indigo, I'm going to get to that comment in just a second. Let's get into gratitude a little bit then. What do we mean by, gratitude? What does it mean to be grateful for something? Well, it's appreciating the positives in our lives, right? Appreciating the kindness of others. It can be something as simple as my son saying, "Thank you for making dinner." It can be the person who lets you go in front of them in the grocery line. It can be the person who smiles or holds the door open at the gas station convenience store. We often think about being grateful for the big things that we have in life. We've got a roof over our head. Do we have food on the table? Our big things. But more than that, truly practicing gratitude is finding the little things in life that we can be thankful for. Getting up in the morning. We saw another day. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter how crappy it may have been, today is a new day. Maybe we can, as Body Illusion always says, make it a little better than it was yesterday. And sometimes making it better is by doing something for somebody else. I don't know about you guys, but when I come on here, even if I'm not feeling it, when I leave, I feel on top of the world because you guys help me as much as I help you by just providing this space. And I am so grateful that you come and that you feel the need to be here with me and to connect with me. I truly am honored and I'm humbled by the way that this channel has grown and the amount of people who are sharing with us now. We can find gratitude in our personal achievements. And if you don't have anything you think that you have recently, it can be for things that you've achieved in the past. That's still part of you, and it still made you who you are. There are definitely days I don't feel on top of the world with my legal career, but I've done well. And I did very well in law school. And if nothing else, I can look back on those achievements and say, I did it. I did it. And Body Illusion, I hope you are still out there. I hope you are listening today because this one is for you. Personal achievements. Here is somebody who has absolutely come so far in the 6-8 months that I have known her, to being a lurker, to being a content creator, to coming on every morning and providing us with some laughs and some silliness for the day. And that's so needed because so much of what I talk about, trauma channels, mental health, we're talking about serious subjects. And she throws all that crap out the window and says, you know what? We're just going to talk about fun stuff and start our day with a fresh breather. So from me to you, Body Illusion, you definitely have all the rights in the world to be grateful for where you are now. because you have come so far and you have accomplished so much. And you have touched so many people in the short time that you've even been doing your content. It is absolutely amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that. Because it's definitely needed. And I know you were struggling a little bit, and I hope that this gives you some encouragement to keep going with it, that you're doing well. You really, really are doing well. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Body Illusion taught me that rabbits don't barf. She taught me that snails have teeth. I didn't know that. That just tells you why I don't like escargot. I don't want to eat teeth. So if you thought they were just gritty and grainy because, you know, they didn't wash like all the dirt off them or something, guess again, you never know. So it spoke briefly when Crystal put up Sophie's picture, you know, finding the beauty in daily life. And that can be how things look out the window, you know, in nature. I can appreciate how the snow looks. I may not want to go and play in it, but I can appreciate how beautiful it looks. I was actually showing Jimena, I took a short video because she was complaining how hot she was. And I was like, yeah, well, here's all the snow that I've got. She's like, it's beautiful. It is. It's beautiful, but you don't have to live in it, right? So finding value, focusing on the value of what we have. And that is not focusing on the amount of what we have, because you may have very little. But what value that you have, what does it hold? And it can be from things that are external from yourself. It can be the people that are in your life, the connections that you've made, whether this is, you know, by blood or by choice. It can be the things that we have, the physical things that we have. I'm grateful that I have a house. I'm grateful that I have a car. But I'm also grateful that I am here with you. The value that this community has for me is immense. So, sorry, we got going on the escargot in the chat. And I'm getting a little sidetracked by that. There you go. There's something you guys can argue about in the comments. Do you like escargot or do you not? I have had it several times, and I don't really think there's a way that you can slather it in garlic butter enough that is going to make me want to eat it again, to be quite honest. Shannon, bless your soul that you like them. But definitely not for me. Definitely not for me. So we focus on the value of what we have rather than the lack of what we don't have. Why? Why do we focus on gratitude? Because by doing this, it promotes a positive mindset. It encourages us to think positively instead of thinking about our negatives, thinking about the things that we don't have, thinking about the things that we didn't get done, thinking about, you know, what we don't, maybe what we don't have internally. You know, I don't have a regulated mood. My emotions have been all over the map, and I haven't been able to really get a good grasp on them lately. And it's causing a lot of issues for me. But I'm trying not to focus on that, trying to focus on, I'm thankful that I have resources to get to a doctor who can help me with it. And I'm focusing on the things that I can do with where I am at right now in my life. It's not where I want to be, but I can get things done, even if it's not everything that I want to get done. I'm certainly thankful for the people that I have in my life, my family, by blood and by choice. I think I shared with you that my son's father was missing. He contacted us yesterday. So he and his wife are alive. Still not in the greatest position, but they're alive. And for us, for right now, that's enough. They're no longer missing. So hopefully they will be able to find their way in life. There's only so much we can do to help them. But I'm sincerely grateful that he contacted my son, that he contacted his mother, that people are no longer going out of their minds wondering, what's going on with them. So that's definitely something that I am thankful for. Where I wanted to take this today is being thankful for the negatives in our life. Can we be thankful for something that's a negative? Gratitude is about focusing on the positive, right? It's not normally thought of in terms of looking at the negatives in our life. Can we be grateful for our trauma? I think that we can, but it depends. It's going to depend on the person. It's going to depend on the trauma. It's going to depend on where you are in your healing journey, how much of that trauma you've been able to process, what traumatic effects have you suffered because of your trauma. My trauma got me here. So for that, I am thankful because I am a survivor. The internal confidence that I can take when I focus on it, from just that fact that I am a survivor, that boosts me. The things that I went through, the struggles that I've had to do, yeah, everything in our life shapes us and makes us who we are today. Here, Audrey says, nightmare boyfriend in high school, plenty of trauma. But you met most of the people who you love, and you can be thankful for that. Absolutely. Without the trauma, without working with survivors, it never would have led me here. I don't know what my sole purpose would be were it not for the trauma. So for me, I think I had to go through it to get to where the universe wanted me to be. And that is helping other trauma survivors and helping people understand trauma and understand trauma survivors. For all of those, for people who support us or who want to be able to support us more. Shan says, yes, it makes us who we are. It absolutely does.
I can honestly say I'm grateful for what I went through because it did make me a stronger person. I could have done without, some of the scars and things like that.
Right.
But at the same time, it has given me my purpose in life, like with you,
Right.
with sharing my books, giving all of you guys a chance to share your stories through them, giving a voice to those that are silenced. So many of us were raised in that, you don't air your dirty laundry, lifestyle. And so being able to share our traumas and realize that we're not alone is very helpful. And like I said, I'm grateful for what I went through because it has shown me that life is not all bad, and without the bad, we don't truly appreciate the good.
Right. If you never have low times, you don't appreciate the high times. And I
Exactly.
wanna pick apart this comment from Christy, because I think this is very important. She says, "I'm not grateful for my trauma. I wish I hadn't gone through it, but I'm glad I am who I am today. I like who I am, but I still think I'd be a good person without the trauma." Absolutely. And I think, my point in regards to, can we be grateful for our trauma? I think it really it's looking at our trauma and separating the experience of the physical, of actually the physical and the mental and the struggle of what we went through what did we gain from it. And we can't go back, right? We'll never know who we were without it. We're only going to know who we are now. And I have no doubt that without the trauma, most of us would still be good people. No reason
Oh
to
yeah, I
think
was
that you
always
wouldn't
like the
be.
protector of the little guy, like even back in like when I was like 9, 10 years old.
Right.
I was always the mom of the group, the protector, the one who looked out for the little ones, you know. So, but
I want to welcome Rich. Hey, thanks for being here. Dave T, thanks for being here. Mike F, thanks for being here. Kind of gets William, I'm so glad you were here. Guys, I appreciate all of you stopping in. It just warms my heart that you guys have come by today. Hey, Kim, how are you doing? So if I hadn't experienced my trauma, I wouldn't be able to speak of the lives of others with the empathy and experience. Precisely. I am, and I think survivors are, as a whole, much more empathetic because of what we went through. Not that people who haven't gone through trauma can't be empathetic, but I think we do have we have an insight because of where we've been. And isn't that what helps connect us? Totally understood. Totally understood, Christy. You're not grateful because of trauma, others suffered with it. And that's why I preface this with, it depends on the person, and it depends on your trauma. It depends on the trauma effects. It depends on what happens. But as a bigger conversation, finding the positives out of the negatives. And for me, I always go to the negative first. It's kind of who I am. It's kind of the environment that I was raised in. And I still do that a lot today. I'm finding that I'm able to focus, to have more gratitude. I need to get that negative out. And I'll give you a perfect example this week. Thursday, our furnace went out. It was freezing cold. And the fix was not cheap. And I knew it wasn't going to be cheap. And so Thursday night, I'm like, oh, holy shit, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, how much money am I have to spend on that? And, how many more hours do I need to work to make sure that I can cover that bill? And, I'm going through all of this, and I had to do that. I had to get it all out. I had to think through all of that and get out all that negativity. And once I did, then I was able to say, okay, that all sucks. However, I have resources. I'm fortunate. I have a job that I actually can work extra hours on to earn some extra money for it. So I'm fortunate that way. So I'm thankful. And for someone who comes from or tends to focus on the negative initially, this thought of being able to practice gratitude in the face of the negative things that are there is extremely important to me and my mindset. I find that if I'm able to look at the negatives that are going on, and if I'm able to take even one thing positive out of that, it really can change my focus with how I deal with that negative. When I start getting negative self-talk, all right, stuff we all do. You're not good enough. You're not working enough. You haven't put away this, that, or the other thing. I mean, just all these thoughts that go through our heads that bring us down. I find I need to let them run their course. And then I focus on them and I say, okay, I'm beating myself up because of the things that I haven't done. What have I done? What have I done with what I have right now, with the coping skills that I have right now, with where I am right now? If I'm beating myself up about things I wish I would have done better as a mom, okay, I didn't for of a whole host of reasons. Is there something that I did good? Is there something that I accomplished as a mom? And I only need to look at my son to have the answer to that. He's a great kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's working full time. He loves his girlfriend. He knows what a positive relationship should look like, healthy relationship. So I did something right. I didn't do everything right. I don't think any of us parents ever do. But he didn't turn out all bad. And it was just him and I for a good portion of it. So must have done something right. Rich says practicing mindfulness really helps for him. Absolutely. And how you practice your gratitude really is going to be individual. Some people keep a gratitude journal. They may look at it once a day, whether it's the beginning or the end of the day, whatever works for you. Some people practice it through their meditation that they like to do. I like to give myself a moment of silence in the morning. I'll have my cup of coffee with me. I get the cats fed so they're not whining in my face. And I have a moment of silence. And that moment of silence is for me to be able to think about the things that I am grateful for. All the things that are negative go through my head as well. And I allow them to go. And I kind of look through them and just, swipe left, swipe left, swipe left. Now, what can I take from that? Is there anything with this negative stuff? Is there anything I can accomplish if I'm thinking about all the things I haven't been able to accomplish? And so that works for me. What works for you guys? Have you been able to practice gratitude? Is it something that you want to do but haven't really found a way to do it? If you haven't, I say stop anytime something negative goes through your mind. And whether it's finding a positive stemming from that negative thought, or whether it's looking out the window and seeing a beautiful tree and giving thanks for the view and giving thanks for nature and the oxygen that the tree is giving off that is allowing you to breathe. Something as simple as that. And I'm finding that the more that I'm doing this, the easier it is to get out of my negative thoughts. So I really have to purposefully, though, acknowledge my negative thoughts. And for me, I'll get to this, leave this up. I'll get to it in 1 second. For me, as somebody who, negative's the go-to and has been for so long, by allowing it to be okay to have a negative thought, I'm getting to the positive. It's allowing me to stop and think and go to the positive. And that's for me. That might not work for everybody. Indigo says that Mira Lee Patel has some books that she found useful. Start Where You Are and My Friend Fear, Finding Comfort in the Unknown has helped. And she also does mindfulness journaling. Wonderful. Rich says he's not grateful for the trauma, but proud of himself for getting through it and going through. And I'm always going to have to process through it the rest of the life, but that's life. Absolutely. But you can now be grateful and thankful for how you've been able to process it, and that you've been able to process it, that you found processing, that you're doing that successfully. And so again, is it the trauma itself or what we can take from it? Yeah, I'm not thankful that I was abused as a kid. I would have rather not gone through that experience. But the empathy that it's taught me, the things that I have done in my life because of it, meaning helping other survivors, I have to think back sometimes. I don't realize the things that I have done. I kind of forgot that I've been working with survivors my entire adult life. And I forget about that because I think about you guys and I think about what I'm doing now. But I used to be a math tutor for domestic violence shelter in Philadelphia. And I think of one woman in particular who was extremely scarred. She'd been knifed, and I'm thankful that I was able to have the compassion for her and her situation because of what I had been through. Otherwise, our lives were totally different. The way we grew up, the environments that we had, our trauma experiences, totally different. But because I did have that connection through trauma, I was able to be there for her, not just as a math tutor, but understanding why things were difficult, understanding why focusing on math, trying to even get through high school was difficult with everything that she had been able to go through. And that means a lot. It meant a lot to her, and it means a lot to me that I was able to be there for her. And I wouldn't have otherwise been. I'm behind in the chat, guys. Hang on. Indigo, this is something I think that a lot of us find, and it's regardless of what we've been through, right? I mean, where we are, what we've been through allows us to hopefully be able to find what our purpose is in our life. I do truly believe that we all have a soul purpose, and not everyone finds it. And your comment about opening, sharing your story has opened doors for you. I've seen the same thing with myself. I've gotten connected with people, and opportunities have presented themselves for me because of it. So for that, I'll be thankful. So just, oh my gosh, you've actually got pneumonia, Carmel? God, go to sleep. Holy camole. Yeah, we are. We're Mod Central today. Everybody decided to show up. It's absolutely fabulous. So goodness, get some sleep, kick that pneumonia. That is awful. Brian, I want to make just a quick comment on yours. You wish you didn't go through what you went through. You have to tell yourself, though, it could have been worse. And I talk about trauma comparison all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying to yourself, it could have been worse. Objectively speaking, looking at what somebody else went through in terms of the physicality of it, or the amount of emotional abuse that somebody had to go through, was more than what you had. I certainly see that in myself. The only thing that I caution people on, and that I don't want you to do, is that just because somebody objectively had it worse does not make your trauma any less than that other person. It doesn't mean that you have any less of a right to feel everything that goes along with having gone through trauma. It is what it is to you. It affected you the way it did. And that trauma is just as real and just as important as the next person's, regardless of what we can say objectively standing back in terms of the experience that the person went through. And I'll keep harping on that, because I still get comments, I still get emails from people who think that they'll say, I don't have a right to complain, right? Somebody else had it worse. No, you have every right to complain. You have every right to feel bad. You have every right to be angry. You have every right to have every single emotion that goes along with having gone through that trauma. So I never want you to feel less because of it. This is the empathetic part of it, doesn't it, DeAudrey? We think about people who had it worse and we feel awful. And it can get easy to take on other people's problems and to feel like you need to fix it, or to feel like you shouldn't show that piece of you that's hurt. But you have just as much right. You went through trauma, period. So I'm not sitting here saying that we should feel grateful for our trauma. I only wanted to pose the question to you guys, can we be grateful for our traumas? Can we be grateful for the negatives in our lives? Some you can, some you can't, right? There's no right or wrong answer to it. Indigo, did I call you she again? If I did, I am so sorry. I try to just use Indigo so that I don't. I'm still getting used to it. you're probably only one of 2 who I see in a regular basis, who I need to remember that for. So definitely need to keep that in mind and keep reminding me and keep reminding everybody in the chat so that we get to that. That's an interesting comment, Crystal. Sometimes you look at the negative emotions, ask why are they negative? Are they there to teach me something? Sometimes it's more the way we deal with it than it is the negative. And that's true. When I practice gratitude for the negatives, a lot of times I will see that they're not really a negative per se. It just is. It's just life. These are just things that happen. And that I don't have to attach a negative label to it. It's just something I got to deal with. My furnace broke. I got to get it fixed. Right? Instead of when we label it like that, and I think of it in terms of a negative, then it's all the emotions that pile on because of that. So trying to peel back some of that by practicing gratitude is helping me to put into perspective what really is a negative in my life. It's helping me to not think of that negative first off. I'm not there yet, guys. I'm not there yet. I'm still, it's a family thing. I mean, you talk about a wonderful vacation you're going to take, and immediately someone's like, well, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you thought of this? Have you thought of this? It's like all the negatives come out first. And that's how I was raised. And I think part of it's just my parents. Part of it is like the military preparedness of my dad. You always have to think about what could happen so you can prepare for that and make sure that you're all set. And I'm really learning to try to see the positives first and dealing with the other stuff just as other stuff, if that makes sense. I 100% understand, Christy, about working on being less emotional. And maybe that's maybe that's the point that I've, Crystal Phoenix, no problem. Thank you. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Maybe that's the point that I'm trying to make with the thinking of the negatives, and trying to look at whatever positive I can take out of it. That, like I said, it's getting all those emotions with it. And for me, stepping back from that and not attaching all of that and allowing all of the shitstorm really that comes from thinking in terms of the negative for me, because it can get into a whole whirlwind just by itself. And I don't want to get stuck there because it's so easy, I think, especially for those of us who feel deeply and are very emotional and wear our hearts on our sleeve and are very empathetic of other people. So I'm going to continue to have my moment of silence in the morning with my coffee. And I'm going to continue to allow my emotions that are surrounding negative thoughts, allowing those negative thoughts to recognize them, and to see if there's a positive that I can take out of it. And sometimes the positive, sometimes what I'm taking out of it is I'm just taking the emotion out of it. And like I said, that I take that emotion out of it. I take that, it takes that label, negative label off, and I'm able to just deal with it as just something that's there to be dealt with. The moment I'm looking at something as being a negative, it's a mountain, right? Instead of a little pile that I just have to sweep up and deal with. Because now I've attached a whole host of other feelings to it. And trying to get past all of that to get to the thing that you actually need to deal with. It certainly is a process, Crystal. I have spent my entire life, obviously, getting to where I am now. And is that a perfectly healthy point in life? Not a chance. But little by little, little by little, I'm finding that it's becoming easier. Hi, Nina. How are you? You're a new one for me in the chat. Grateful that you turned out to be the person that you are in spite of all the trauma. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Carmel, don't worry about it. I think we've gotten through the point that we that we needed, and I think some are probably still lurking. So don't worry about it. Go back to bed. That's an order. That is from the head mod, me, to you. Go back to bed. Get some sleep. I'm not going to be on actually for too much longer. I am been listening to what's going on here in the house, and I'm going to have to get going, unfortunately. But this has been a really good talk, and I'd love to continue this chat in the comments. What do you think? How can you practice being grateful? How can you practice gratitude? Do you practice gratitude? Because it's one thing to say, okay, yeah, I can sit here and I can think and I can be thankful for this and I can be grateful for that. But do we practice gratitude? Because it is that practicing that gets us to another point. We love our lurkers, Nina. That's okay. I am honored that you popped up in the chat and you listen all you like, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. 100%. I'm glad to have you as a part of our SAS community. So tell me in the chats, do you practice gratitude? If you don't, is there a way that you can start? Because we don't get good at anything unless we practice. And so that goes for practicing mindfulness, practicing seeing the positives out of the negatives. How can you work it into your daily life? Because if we're not doing it on a daily basis, we're not going to feel the effects of what it can do for us. Helping us to have a positive outlook on life instead of a negative outlook. Sven, how are you? Glad you stopped by. It's got to be night by you. Cosmic and Crystal, if you guys don't have each other's contact information, if you want to authorize me to hook emails up, I can do that, but that is totally up to you. So individually, you guys can send me an email as to whether or not that's okay. I will never, ever, ever give out anybody's personal information without authorization first. Definitely how I do it. Denmark played Italy in the... You're already connected. Okay, good. I'm out of here. I'm out of that. I mean, Denmark played Italy in the... Sven, you're missing it. You're missing you're missing the kicker on there. I'm not sure what they were playing. I'm gonna guess soccer, but I don't know. So who were you rooting for? Were you rooting for Denmark? I don't know. To be continued, guys. We'll see. We'll have to just wait and see what happens with that. I keep forgetting a lot of you guys are connected on Facebook, something that I don't have. I had issues with them a long time ago, and I still have issues now getting my Facebook profile back, and I can't make a new one because they want me to verify who I am, and it's just kind of been a mess. So maybe one day I'll get that all straightened out, but in the meantime, SurvivingTogether, sass@gmail.com. If you do need to reach me directly is the best way. Band ball? What is band ball? Did you mean baseball or did you mean band ball? I have no idea what band ball is. So Denmark won. But you're going to have to tell me what band ball is. Handball. Okay, I know what handball is. Had no idea it was that big of a thing. I mean, like my dad used to play racquetball and then got into handball on the, one-on-one with the guys from work or whatever. But I really didn't realize it was that huge of a thing. Is handball really big over there? It's really fascinating to me, other countries and their sports and what's big for them, because really here we've got football and baseball and basketball. Like those are our top three, right? Everything else takes a back seat. Hey, Lalas, how you doing? Good to see you. So I never knew you could do it with teams. Well, I guess I've seen doubles with handball, but that's about it. So congrats to Denmark. Happy day to you. So yeah, let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know. How do you practice gratitude? Do you practice gratitude? If you don't, you think you'll start? What's a good starting point for you? Different ways to do it. And we all have different things to be thankful for. And I'm going to continue to try and let my negative thoughts go through, but then take the positive out and see if I can get to a point where I'm thinking about the positives when something comes across instead of thinking the negative. That's my goal. That is my goal with practicing gratitude. Deaudrey has a gratitude journal. That's great. Yeah, I suck at writing every day. I really do. I've tried to keep a journal. I've been successful for times, and then I'll come back to it, and then I'll go away from it. And I really struggle with that. I really honestly struggle with journaling. But if it works for you and you can do it, wonderful. Wonderful. because I'm sure it's a good thing that you can look back on days that you may have a day that you're just like, everything has fallen to shit. And I just can't even think. What have I been grateful for in the past? And that might, prompt you and help you. Denmark invented handball. Denmark is a 3-time winner of the world champion. Wow. I had no idea. Well, congrats to Denmark. That's awesome. All right, guys, it's almost 4:30 now. We have got a birthday party that is going to be going on here. I think it's probably already started. We're going to be late, but I'm going to try and at least phone myself in, since it's in a city to the north. I think my son's going to try and go. I'm going to try and at least make a virtual appearance for it. So I hope that this has been at least thought-provoking, if nothing else. I know gratitude is something we talk about all the time in mental health, in trying to give us a different perspective on things. And I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate your comments. And we're going to have more of these. I've got some more topics where things might get a little contentious and not everyone's going to agree, and that's okay, because we learn from each other. And I want to know what people think about different subjects. So I'm going to start posing, let's say my goal of the first half of this year is to have more lives where I have some questions that aren't easily answered. It's not a yes or a no. It's not a this works or it doesn't work. And not everyone may agree on it, and that's okay. So look for some more of these things, along with just our normal how to deal with trauma and related topics. I've got a series that I'm working on right now that I may start on Wednesday. I may start next week. I'm not 100% certain right now, because I want to have the whole series mapped out before I actually start, so that I make sure that I don't gloss over anything, leave anything out of a particular section that I want to, and have to go back and have it not make much sense. So thank you all for joining me today. A little bit shorter of a live today, but I am honored that you've all been here. Please remember that you are worthy. You are valuable, and you're loved just the way you are, for who you are. Surviving together, never alone. That's what it's all about. Hugs and love, guys. Bye.